Yes. Woo! I'm so happy. This experience for myself and my teammates and the coaching staff is just something amazing. We've definitely worked for this. We definitely worked so hard. This loss today even feels like a win for us because it took so much for us to get here. The World Cup, AfroBasket, the tournament in Mozambique, and then coming here again to Serbia to play is just an unbelievable experience. And I'm pretty sure with months of advance of training and preparation, you're definitely going to see a new team in Tokyo, and I just can't wait. I'm super excited for our girls.
Wonderful. And Coach Julie, your thoughts on like a truly amazing game to finish this tournament?
Yeah, it is like yesterday. They both were unique in the experience. You know, being on the road, a great basketball environment, and playing against two totally different teams. One very physical, perimeter oriented, very skilled, 5 people who could dribble, pass, and shoot, great decision makers, and a good, very good coach. And then to face the best in the world, who just beat that team. And to do it the last day with the way we play and use all 12 girls, ladies, you know, I'm lost for words. I'm humble because I don't think our girls are not competitive. We could compete with anybody. I just don't know if they played their best basketball yet, and I'm waiting for it to come out. Now I'm starting to see evidence. And if we had, you know, proper preparation prevents poor performance. If we get the right preparation as a group, and we hadn't had it, you'll be astounded what we've had to put in at the last second, in the last minute as we met. We've only had 2 days of practice here. And one of them was with 7 people because they all hadn't gotten here yet. So I'm excited about the possibilities.
Good for you. Yuki?
Ladies first.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I have many questions actually. First of all, congratulations and welcome to Tokyo.
Thank you.
Actually, I have many questions, but so the question to both of you, you are representing Africa. The Nigeria represent Africa, only one country coming to this Olympic Games. What would you like to show to the world in this summer in Tokyo?
Coach, you want to go first?
Baby, it's okay.
Okay, we just want to show what Africa has to offer. I mean, there's so many different talented athletes from many different sports in West Africa, and we just want to, you know, show what we can do. I mean, I think that the World Cup was our foot in the door. AfroBasket was us knocking at the door, and the tournament now was us kicking the door wide open. And us going to Tokyo now, we just got to just walk in with poise, our heads held high, and just represent what's on our front of our chest and just go out and play each game.
Wonderful. Anybody else? A question? I'm sure there's a few. Sorry, Coach.
I just hope we've killed an overarching stigma that Africa never sends their best team. And when they do, it's not of any substance. I hope we're eating away at that stigma, at that assumption, and that there would be a modicum, at least a modicum of respect for the team that comes out of Africa. I hope this is the first day of something greater than what's going on now, because it's just been real frustrating to, you know, almost look up and no team. If they hadn't put us in, there'd be a chance we wouldn't even be here. But the way this team played, you probably could have put them anywhere. And I thought they would have competed. Their resolve has just been greater.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, go ahead.
Oh, do you have more questions?
Yes, but
Yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sure.
Oh, he's awesome.
This question is in.
Yes.
I really enjoy watching Coach Otis coaching during the game, but
I'm sorry.
how the players you enjoy working with him and how he drives the players to keep just going in the play like today.
I really enjoy it. I mean, coach is a great coach off the court, an even greater guy. So we really appreciate everything that he brings to the game of basketball. And even during the practices, you can see his emotion and his drive and his focus that he wants us to give 100% at all times. And being on the floor sometimes, yeah, he screams and he hits the things, but I feel like that's what drives us and that's what keeps us to pushing and keep us going. And sometimes it's not just about who's stronger or who's faster. It's about who has the biggest heart. And I think that he pushes us and make us show who has the biggest heart.
Just one.
Yuki, the floor's all yours. Sorry.
But personally, I really like how you play, so
Thank
I
you.
nearly fell in love.
Yes.
Truly. And then the question to coach, this is about today's game, but I think you played a very good game against USA before and today as well. How, and only one field goal in the second quarter, how did you make it happen? It's really
Well,
great.
our girls, their heart and their resolve is they didn't know in the World Cup they're not supposed to play against a team like this. But the difference now is they believe that they belong. They were going in the World Cup not to get humiliated. Now they're going to win. And I agree with them. I think they deserve to be there because they put the work in. They played on the same courts, all these girls, same AAU, played under the same coaches, played in the same NCAA tournament. They know these girls. They're not afraid of them. In fact, they've been waiting all their lives for the opportunity to play against them. And
The dream is being lived, huh?
yes, you don't get to do that within the 365-day period against the best in the world. That was a blessing.
Let me continue on the dream has been still going on. Isn't it? Congratulations for the top 5.
Thank you so much.
There's been talk these past couple of days from different teams about the legacy that each team at this moment is actually building in some sort of way. The British girls have been talking about how the basketball actually grew since the London Olympics in England or in the UK. The girls from Mozambique, the coach today said that they don't have the professional league, so that a really good result from a national team might actually benefit the future generations and also the players and the coaches in the future to have a broader base to be able to set up a team. So what does this feel for you personally, and do you actually now feel sort of responsible maybe for inspiring someone else to start doing basketball in Nigeria?
Yes. Well, for me personally, this is just amazing. Growing up, I've never thought that I would say I would be going to the Tokyo Olympics. It's just a blessing, honestly. And I think that I definitely feel the responsibility of, holding a legacy for the young girls that's watching me, is to just keep motivating them and letting them know that if you just persevere and be determined and stay focused, that you can accomplish anything. And what's the saying that God gives his strongest battle to the strongest warriors? I think that's how it goes. Yeah. Yes. So I take pride in that, the responsibility. I don't mind carrying the load because I know my teammates have my back and they're willing to carry the load with me. And I'm just excited that we can set an example for the young girls and men that want to be what we are today.
Excellent. Thank you. Anybody else?
Then I've got one more.
Please
For
do.
Coach Hewley, we just discussed it before the press conference. We talked about this game yesterday, and I've asked you whether the style of game might actually benefit you, because all the girls from your team know the girls from the US team, and your style of play is more or less the same. So was that the key factor or the key ingredient for, the last couple of minutes, it was almost, you were there.
Yeah, we just don't know how to be there yet. And Serbia really got in us, was very physical, and they didn't do that. And I shouldn't give that away. You can't let them do that. You can't let them be comfortable. They let us be comfortable and we made them uncomfortable. BG not there, or we get somebody that can really do early work, chest her up at the foul line, not let her get so deep, or come help and get back, then maybe. But this film's going to teach us, like the other film in the World Cup taught us for it not to be 30 points. And to be up 14 at the half against that team, unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, but it's the size of the fight in the dog. And she's huge in her chest cavity. And it's so contagious in that locker room. How do you lay it up tiptoe with 7, 6, 9 people in the lane and one? Nobody touches you. Twice. Almost 3 times.
The grace of God.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Praise hallelujah.
And some hard work as well. Huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Coach, I don't think we can wait till Tokyo to see you guys play again. It's a joy to watch you play, and congratulations. Man.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Coach. I sure appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We're looking up where I sent you an email. I can't find your email.
Yes, yes.
I'll write you a few things here.
We had to get our.
It was the best of the tour.
That's exactly right.
We try and spread the love.
Brittany, nice to meet you. Great job. Thank you. Yuki, this is our final press conference. So the final press conference followed USA-Serbia. With me is Coach Cheryl Reeve and Brittany Griner. Brittany, that was a great contest. Tell me how you were feeling the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Last 3 or 4 minutes, I mean, it was a really good game. We knew Nigeria was going to come out and, you know, give us a good game. And in Spain, it was the same thing, kind of the same thing. They got out a little bit more than we wanted, so we knew we were going to have to fight back. But, you know, this game I think is going to help propel us going towards Tokyo. Seeing this, being down, fighting back, taking a possession at a time. And I was just ready for those 3 minutes to wind down.
It was fun to watch, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah.
And Coach, the introduction of Samuelson, tell me that. To me, that was key.
Well, you know, you got to a certain point where, you know, you're searching, right,
Yep.
for someone that'll do something simple like make a shot. And Dan Hughes, actually, shout out to Dan, that was his call, you know, said, let's do it. And, you know, obviously turned out to be,
Yep.
I think, the difference in the game. You know, she had a way about her that was calm. You know, Nigeria creates a lot of chaos and speeds you up, and she didn't get sped up. She was helpful in a lot of ways, and obviously the shot making being the biggest thing.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Any questions? You first, Yuki, come on.
Thank you very much. I'm from Japan, and this is a question to Coach Reeves. We have one female wrestler who retired last year, and she won loads of medals in Olympic Games or World Championship. And she used to say that the most difficult things for her wasn't reach the top, but to stay at the top. And then just USA is doing. Would you agree with that? And if you do, how actually is it difficult, and what is the key to stay at the top?
Well, and that's well said, by that wrestler, that the climb is always easier than staying there, and not just staying there. I think we've done this since the 90s, and credit to Carol Cowan and the program that she runs, and it is about having really good players. But I think the thing that helps to separate us is the type of people that USA Basketball attracts. We get their very best, and they have a way about them that it's about winning. And if that means sacrificing your role, doing something different for the good of the team that night, that tournament, whatever it is, we have a group that's willing to do that. So I think they're very careful in the selection process. To ensure that not only talent, but because there's times like these, I've seen teams when you get down 16 that they just fall apart. Teams could be front runners when things are going well, but it's really revealing when you get down and everybody in the gym was rooting against us. Who doesn't want to see the USA lose, right? So all of that against you, and to be able to find a way to stay together and problem solve and figure out a way to win the game. That it just it speaks to the character and how much USA Basketball means to all of them.
Cheryl, I realize the staff, you guys all have other jobs and you've got a lot of other things going on, but in a situation like this where you're all going home now, how do you break down film from a game like this to then come back and talk with Dawn and start figuring out what you didn't like and what you like?
Well, I can tell you Dawn's breaking down the film right now. I think they probably played today, and probably somebody walked up to her at halftime and said, USA Basketball is down 16, and she probably couldn't concentrate for a few moments at her game. But Dawn is really good, watches every game, dissects it, so she has a clear idea of, again, there's still the selection process going on, so evaluation. We have some really hard decisions to make. But I think that, as a staff, the first chance we'll have to be together, all of us, will be in April. And so Dan and I and Vicki Johnson will just share the experience, share the things that we thought in being in the trenches with this team. And then, certainly Dawn, as an objective set of eyes, can say what you saw on video, and then we can move forward from there.
I've got a question for Brittany. The US team already qualified, so technically this was a no contest for your team. How do you motivate yourself? Because what we've noticed in these last couple of days, you guys gave it all of your efforts. You were like not only physically there, but you were really into the game. How do you actually motivate yourself when you know that there's technically no point in playing this, apart from the fact that you get to spend more time with your potential teammates once you get to Tokyo? Is this the key, or how? I mean, also scheduling for most of the European teams here was very difficult. I'm guessing it's more or less the same for you guys.
Well, I think every time that we meet, it's important, and I think everybody that's involved with USA Basketball values every moment that we meet. If it's just practice, back in the States, or if we're meeting in international play, all these games matter. Like I said a minute ago, like this game mattered. It's just the road to Tokyo, to stay on the top, to touch on that. To stay on the top, you have to be hungry. We know we're going to get every team's best shot. So, we can never just come into a tournament and just think, it doesn't matter. That wouldn't be the USA mentality that, everybody's established and that we're still trying to keep going.
Winning always matters to Olympians, always.
I've also got a question for you, and also if Brittany could add her 2 cents to that. We've heard Coach Montello the other day explain how the Spanish process of setting up the national team works, from kids to different categories. You sort of gave us an insight the first day after the first game how you guys work, because yours might be actually the weirdest system with 3
Thanks.
coaches and 1 coach actually not being physically here. We know our coach Marina Maljković today also said that there were so many problems that the Serbian team has been facing. How do you make it work?
Well, you know, and it is interesting, right, for each of us. We all have our own set of challenges. You know, obviously I can speak to the USA basketball challenges, and, you know, Carol maps out a plan. You know, there's a leadership team, you know, that you kind of get together and go, okay, what's needed? And they rely heavily on people giving of themselves. And, you know, in this case, it was, hey, Cheryl and Dan, you know, this is what needs to happen. You know, you up for it? Actually, I don't think they said you up for it. This is what we're doing. And you know, when duty calls, you know, you answer. And so you have to be, you know, I've said this, and I've you know, as I've gotten older, it just rings true, is that in this life you have to be nimble. Nothing can surprise you, and you have to be nimble. If you're not nimble, you're going to struggle, you know, because something's always going to come up. Carol Callan is the most nimble person I think I've ever been around. You know, these players put her through heck. I can come, I can't come, I'm going to be late, I'm going to go have a wedding, I'm going to go do this, and you don't know, okay, we have these players for this game. Nope, okay, we have these players for this game. And so as coaches, we go, who do we have, right? It's a little bit like coaching the G League, you know, that, you know, back in the States, that, you know, there's a lot of turnover, you know, and so you got to figure out, okay, today, you have your system, you have your staples of things that you're always going to be good at regardless of which players. And then you just say, okay, who's here today? What are we trying to feature, you know, based on those talents? And so I like the challenge of that.
Before you explained a bit how your system works, on paper, it looked that you guys had it so much easier than your friends from the men's team, with, especially last year, with so many cancellations for the national team for the World Cup in China. Is it really that way? Like, would you ever consider saying, no, I don't feel like playing for the national team this summer? Or do the women of the team actually feel more, I'm not going to say confident, but more drawn to play for the national team rather than the guys from the NBA?
I mean, I can only speak, you know, for myself, but you know, whenever I have a chance to come play for the USA, you know, just with my own values. My dad's military, so, you know, I wanted to do the same thing before basketball came into my life, and now basketball's in my life. So this is my way of, you know, representing my country. So anytime that I get a chance to play and put on USA, you know, I'm gonna be there.
Thank you.
I got one question. What was halftime like? Who dominated the halftime, the players or the coaches? I got the feeling the players probably turned around and said, we are getting this done.
Yeah, we came together in the locker room.
Yeah. So you had to say very little, did you?
I did. I just sat there and listened. Yeah.
Excellent. Yuki, one more question. This is the final question in Belgrade for Yuki. Go for it,
Very simple question, just personal, just interest to the Brittany. Now we know all 12 participants, and then is there any team that you personally just fancy playing against in Tokyo?
Just want to get to Tokyo. No matter the team, you know, that we have to face up against, like I said, we know we're going to get everybody's best shot. So just want to get there. I'm excited to get there. Hopefully I get there, and you know, just ready to play.
The odds are
Just
good,
ready to play. Never been, always wanted to go too. So
You had a good game today. I think you
really did.
got a good
Thank
chance
you.
of getting there.
It's
Yeah.
very humid and hot, so just be
Yeah.
very humid.
I'm from Houston, so
Right.
I'm used to the humidity.
All right.
All right.
Thank you all.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ken.
Thank you.
Appreciate everything. Great to meet you. Yeah.